Hey guys, Chris Fagan with Talking to the Movies. I just got out of seeing James Cameron's third installment of the Avatar franchise, Fire and Ash, and I enjoyed the overall the art of war. I guess I would have to, if I'm going to coin a phrase of it. I think the all-out battles, the tension of the fights were a lot more better, more emotional, a lot more things at stake. For the first minute or two, the 3D is all in your face, like a damn commercial. That's all you notice. And then slowly but surely, it blends, your eyes adjust, and you can't even. It's happening. It's still happening in a remarkable way. Nobody does it better than James Cameron does. But then it blends so well. It's like it becomes your reality because it is our reality, right? But he blends it so perfectly where it's not, for lack of a better word, in your face. So once your eyes adjust, James, so at that part I knew. So again, it wasn't anything new. That Stephen Lang's character, Colonel Miles, is slowly leaning more into his, how do I put it, his conflict, and is starting to see the world, the Navi world, the way Jake Sully did when he became integrated with the Navi. And it's slow. It's a slow process where for Jake it happened in one movie. It seems that the steps that Miles is going is through each installment, starting from Way of the Water, and now even further in part two. I'm sorry, in part three, the Fire and Ash. What I was surprised with, and I did not see coming, was that he would find love from one of the locals the same way Jake did. It was so funny to me. I literally looked at my wife and said, I did not see that coming. So he's almost like a parallel to Jake and Natari. My prediction is, what if the humans succeed in wiping out most of, if not all, of the Sully family? And then Miles and his wife now have to continue on saving this planet from the humans after he finally accepts that he is no longer what his memories are. He is now part of this world. I'm not more interested in the Spider character played by Jack Champion. I honestly thought it was a useless addition, but seeing that his character has evolved and like adapted to the planet, I am now way more interested in the way the story could go, and it's like a whole new set of possibilities. I'm not surprised now that originally the plans were to make this a trilogy, and now it's like, no, we're going to need at least 4 or 5 movies to finish this story out. And I think it was when they decided to make him adapt to the planet the way they did and be able to breathe the air, to me is where it's like, oh yeah, with that just happening, I can't wrap this up in a trilogy. I now saw, okay, James, I see now. We can't wrap that up in a trilogy. This needs at least 4 or 5, maybe 6, to completely wrap the story up. Spider will start to also, his DNA will change. Will he get taller? Will he stay the average height for a human, or will his limbs get taller, or would that be something later on if he's able to have that braid out of the back of his neck to tap into the planet the way he's able to do now? That also would imply that he's able to mate. And we saw what Jack's DNA as the Avatar mixed with native Navi, your children having 5 fingers instead of 4. You can only imagine what offspring. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. There was a lot in there that I could say, this might be my favorite installment. And for some reason, I'm going back and forth. It's a big washing machine cycle. They're just tumbling in there. Sometimes part 1 is my favorite, sometimes part 2, and now same thing with this one, right? I'm going to say for right now, that's still my order. Maybe part 2, part 1, and now part 3. it was over 3 hours long. This one did not need to be as long as it was, right? We really kind of dragged it out. I can see part two and part one needing that much time. This one really did not. So the thing I think that I took away from part three was just the shock of where the Colonel or Miles is going. That more than anything else. Uh, will him and his new bride become the new Jake and Natari, or for that planet, the new heroes, right? Um, after if he turns to the light side of the Force, can he be forgiven? Will we remember Anakin, or will we just remember Vader? I'm thinking not. No, I don't know. Maybe that's just a wild theory, but let's see. Let me know what you guys think about that possibility. That's I say 5% chance of that redemption story happening. Not really possible. It seems like each installment is following the same cookie cutter thing. Wow, we're at peace, we're great, and we're having a good time. Then the enemy infiltrates and starts a little bit of a problem. Family issues and getting over prejudices. Once we seem to have solved that issue, we create another one for no reason. Then the enemy is thinking, "Oh, am I doing the right thing?" They go back and forth. They tit for tat. There's a big rallying speech. Then they get into this big battle, and of course the Na'vi are losing, and all is lost. But because we asked the Great Spirit, for help at the last second, and then the Great Spirit doesn't answer right away. We think they've abandoned us. Then no, they're here, and all the animals come to say it's happened in each movie. Every movie's had that. It's like when all is lost. Oh no, the Great Spirit Mother heard us. Okay, I think this is the third time. Okay, we should have the Great Mother on speed dial by now. Like, why are you taking so long to help when you know this is happening? What the hell? Like, cause a volcanic eruption to blow up the humans, base, and just stop this. Like, what the hell? That's what I'm thinking. But it seems to be the same formula for every movie. Now, if that happens again in part four, which it probably will, then I'm going to be like, all right, what's the point of watching? I know how it's going to end. And so maybe I'm going to say an 8 out of 10 score, right? 8 out of 10 stars. That's where I'm probably at with Fire and Ash. I can't remember where I numbered it before, if I was even numbering anything at all. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It opened my eyes to all these possibilities. There's a little observation that I had in the middle of it. And I'm thinking these different types of Na'vi, these different tribes. Now, if we compare them to human, different nationalities, tribes, and things in the past, overall of human history, there's some kind of nationalities and racial comparisons that you can make. Obviously, I feel like the Na'vi as a whole, like they would say, this is Dancing with Wolves in space, right? So this is Native Americans overall, right? This Native American type of culture, and then you obviously the colonizers being the Europeans who will come in and take over, conquer the Americas, right? That's the story that we're really seeing. But each tribe seems to be a blend of Native American and other things. Like in part one, I'm seeing a lot of Native American and African types of influences. And part two, Way of the Water, Native American, but and Samoan, Hawaii, like those types of tribes. With this Fire Nation, which is like, okay, are we just airbending now, or what the hell? Okay, now we have the Fire Nation that just got introduced, right? Like, how on the nose is that? I mean, like now, Jane, I feel like, okay, now dude, you're just trolling now. You're like, haha, I took the name, it's mine. It's like I can't help but think of M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar movie, where he separated those benders by nationality, and I got rebel vibes off of them if you're going to compare it to Star Wars, but I also got they're all considered, natives and or terrorists to the humans, right? But I really got it out of this Fire Nation. So I'm thinking Native American, and then a little influence of what Westerners, how they feel about the Middle East, Iraqis, Afghanis, you know, people from those countries. And that's the vibe that I got from the Fire tribe. I was like, is that where we're going with this? So it's like, okay, so and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm the only one that got that vibe, then I apologize. Maybe I'm seeing things that aren't there, but that was kind of the vibe that I was getting. You were the way they were really throwing the word savage around, and then giving them guns. These people being willing, the only tribe willing to use human technology and use it the way the Avatar humans are using them. Um, the Sky People, and that's what I was thinking. I kind of got that vibe, like that's what they were going with it. And like I said, maybe if I'm wrong, if I'm crazy, let me know. If comment below if you kind of can get, or if you have a better example than where I'm going with this, right? Other than that, that just made me think, okay, so what are we going to do in part 4? What new tribe are we going to reach? Because they implied there are other tribes out there, right? They couldn't reach them all. So there were some that we still have not seen. If I see what I would consider the equivalent of, if we go to, like, let's say again, Native American, and then that's blended a little bit with another culture, something that I would consider what would be like, okay, so you see, I don't know if you guys can see it, if you can see the gargoyles, the stuffed figurines. You remember when Goliath and them were on that journey, and they bumped into the clan of gargoyles that were into Bushido, and they were into samurais, and they were ninjas and things. I'm like, if part 4 or part 5 introduces a tribe where it kind of comes off like you're pulling things out of like ancient China or ancient Japan type of culture and stuff, then I'm like, that's 100% what Cameron's doing with these stories. Straight up using the word. We need to colonize these people, become, colonizers versus the natives and things. And I'm thinking, my theory is by the end, humans and the Na'vi are going to have to learn to coexist, breathe together. Like you can, when you come to this planet, you're not going to wipe us out or make us bow down to yours, to your way of doing things. You're going to become us. And it's weird that after all these centuries that we've made this mistake over and over and over again, and think we can keep doing it, especially on another planet, right? Or maybe they'll be like, okay, cut this out, and then we'll teach you humans how to tap into your planet the way we are able to tap into our. I am quoted on this channel specifically saying that Avatar, it took so long for Avatar 2 to come out. More fans have passed away than are being born, right? When Avatar first came out back in the early 2000s, that first year, you saw a bunch of people dressed up as Na'vi for Halloween. The Halloween after that, nobody. Was that the case with the Joker's Dark Knight? No. You saw a lot of people dressed up as Heath Ledger's Joker. The year after that, Heath Ledger's Joker. The year after that, Heath Ledger's Joker. Joker. And that was kind of my test, my litmus test of the staying power of this franchise. So mixed up with the pandemic, the delays, all of that stuff, I was thinking there is no way that Way of Water is going to make anywhere near the amount of money that part 1 made. And lo and behold, boom, $2 billion later, I was wrong. And I was way wrong. I would have been surprised if it made a billion. And if it made $1 billion, I was thinking 1.1. I said it guaranteed won't go past 1.5, and I was wrong. So then, now the story is for the box office for Fire and Ash, that it's got a slow start. Well, they all have slow starts. But 1 week in, 10 days later, it's almost at $1 billion already. But it's still doesn't seem to have the same oomph that it did when the second one came out. Then I thought about it. I was like, well, you know what? Maybe it's because it was so long and, you know, people were hungry for it. The technology got 10 times better with part one compared to part two. And maybe that's why part two did so well, right? Despite the pandemic. But with it being so close to part two, now you have that to compare it to. How much more advanced could the technology have gotten, right? Just like every other James Cameron movie, I've seen them in 3D. The way James Cameron's Avatar movies start with is that we are touching, literally touching 4 decades, 4 separate decades. 2009, let's say the 2000s, the teens, 2020s, and now the 2030s. We are touching. This franchise is touching 4 decades, 4 separate decades, based on the new current plan. And I totally believe we are going to get an Avatar 4. If you can make it to 800 million in 10 days, you're going to get a sequel. And we know that this movie has legs. It's definitely going to hit 1 billion. I think as long as a Avatar movie just makes $1 billion, this movie could only make $1 billion, and they'll greenlight part four. I feel like part one and part two combined has already made enough money to cover the whole justification for the whole franchise overall. But it will hit 1 billion. We will get part four. Part four will hit 1 billion. We will get part five. And part five won't come out until 2035. Mark my words. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Comment below all my theories, my review, and let me know what your thoughts of the movie was in your review. Have you even seen it yet? Are you one of the people like me? You waited for the word of mouth and then you went 3, or you're going to go later on, or you're going to wait till it comes out on streaming? Again, walking through the movies. Until next time, guys.